Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Father, we thank you for bringing us here tonight. We thank you for your word. We thank you, God, for your presence and power in our lives. We ask God for grace tonight. Help us, Lord, that we might say what God we desire to say, the manner we should desire to say, and we give you praise and glory in Jesus' name. Amen. We're going to continue talking. We're going to continue talking tonight about unity. Everybody say unity. Unity. So we want to, just for a brief moment, we want to recap about some of the things we discussed last week and then we'll move forward. We discussed the purpose of the church, why the church exists, and most notably, we talked about the church not existing to simply to meet the needs of people and the wants of people. Doesn't exist to make one brand, but it exists to glorify God, and so doing so must be done with the spirit of unity from the people in which the church is comprised of. So anyone who attends church, joins church to be exalted has missed the entire point of church. Thereby, the church has no efficacious qualities in your life. It doesn't affect you positively in any way because you have mistaken the purpose of church. So any person who makes the church about them, ultimately, they are their own God. All right? So we have to be careful that unity is not sacrificed on the altar of self-ambition and self-aggrandizement. So tonight I want to go back to 2 Peter chapter 3 and actually, I'm sorry, 1 Peter chapter 3. First Peter chapter 3 and verse 8. We're going to start off tonight. Probably we're going to maintain a focus. First Peter chapter 3 and verse 8. So, for those of you who are taking notes, I want to give you just one point. I got a couple of points. I'm not going to get to the other one. And I'm certainly not going to get to the one after that. So I want to get this one point in your mind. And if you're taking notes, if you write stuff down, write this down. We must intentionally strive or pursue unity. All right? I want everybody to say that with me. We must intentionally strive for unity. All right. So what that looks like in the context of the church is none of us can be about our own agenda. Right? The agenda of the church supersedes your agenda. I mentioned a quote from Herman Edwards. He used to be a football coach in the NFL. He said, any player on my team, they're going to play for the name that's on the side of their helmet, not for the name that's on the back of their jersey. All right, for those of you who don't understand that reference, the name on the side of the helmet is the team name. The name on the back of the jersey is the player's name. So what Coach Edwards was saying is the agenda and the purposes of the team are more important than the agenda and the purposes of the players that comprise the team. All right, so any person who is focused solely on their own win and their own statistics is missing the point of teamwork and unity. All right, so to use another sports reference, if my team, or rather if I have 50 points but my team loses, then it doesn't matter about my statistics, right? It don't matter how well you did, how much you came to church, or how much you gave, or how much you attended Sunday school, if the purposes and the objectives of the team, the church, family are not met. And so what we must be careful of is that we don't celebrate at the altar of our own victories while sacrificing the objective of the team. All right? Tell somebody, you ain't that important. Don't say it like me. I heard somebody say you're not. No, say it ghetto. You ain't that important. You ain't that important. You proper folks, I'm sorry. And I know there's going to be pushback, right? Because, well, you can't say that and really mean it because without us, then there's no team. Well, true, but last I checked, the Bible says that this is Christ's church, and upon this rock he has built his church, and the gates of hell will not prevail against it. So if the gates of hell can't even prevail against God's church, then certainly you or I cannot hinder the impact or the flow or even the success of God's church. No matter how much we think we matter, you don't make up the team. You are a part of God's team, and without God, there is no team. So we have to be careful not to inflate our own importance, and that goes from me all the way down to the least of these, the smallest, the youngest, the newest. None of us are that important that God can't replace us. Because if you look at it like this, John was a man, the Bible says, full of the Holy Ghost in his mother's womb. And John got beheaded. All right, so if John, who paved the way for Jesus Christ's earthly ministry, got beheaded, you and I ain't that important. So we have to understand that we are only as effective as a team, not as individuals. That's it. We are only winning as a team, not as individuals. That's the reason why unity is so important, because none of us can have victory without the other. But I did my part and they didn't. Was the objective met? See, it works two ways, right? Because if the objective gets met, when I was in college, I hated group projects. Because I know what I'm going to do. I don't know what everybody else is going to do. I know what I'm going to bring to the table. I can't trust what everybody else is going to bring to the table. But check this out. I still have to do my job. And I have to trust that Carly's in my group and Carly's going to do her job. And I can't be on the phone every 5 minutes. Did you do this? Did you look this up? I got to trust that she's going to do her part. The problem with many of us, and I'm going to get to the text, some of y'all wonder, the problem with many of us is that we hold people to standards that we don't want them to hold us to. Notice I didn't say that we don't hold to ourselves to. No, we don't want them to hold up, because if it's the other way around, you're going to stop picking up your phone, you ain't answering on Facebook Messenger, you ain't doing none of that. But it only works if the team doesn't. Nobody's going to get this win by themselves. So, the objective of the church is to glorify God and to save souls. We can't do it alone. We can't do it as an island. So, 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 8, I really only want first portion of this scripture. And I'm going to read this in New King. Those of you who follow along. As a matter of fact, I'm going to read this in Amplified version. I like that version a lot. Y'all go to sleep, yes, say amen. All right, so we all on the same page. 1 Kings chapter 3. 1 Kings, that's what I was just reading. 1 Peter chapter 3. 1 Peter chapter 3. Verse 8. All right, so let's look at what it says. It says, finally, all of you be like-minded or united in spirit. That's all I want. All of you be like-minded. Like-minded suggests that we all understand, number one, what's ahead of us, what should we all be thinking the same about? Right? What should we all be drawing our minds in on one accord about? What is the objective? So Peter is writing to this church. He's assuming that they know what the objective is, right? So what's the objective? And I'm gonna bring it home. What's the objective here? It's the same objective that Jesus gave the apostles: glorify God. Now he said a whole lot of different stuff in Matthew 28. He said, go out, baptize them, and make disciples. He said all that stuff. But ultimately, at the core of that, that's to glorify God. The purpose of the church is the glorification of God. So the same objective that they had then is the same one we have now. Right? It shouldn't be different. Now, there are nuances and complexities that change as time progresses and as needs arise in our particular communities, but the reality is all of the things that we do as a team should glorify God. Amen. It shouldn't be for self-glorification or self-aggrandizement, or it shouldn't even be so that you can position your church to be the biggest church in the city. You ever heard people that go to a large church and they act like they the one built it? I go to such and such a church. We have thousands of people. Well, I mean, you just one of them. Right? Like you didn't go get them yourself. As a matter of fact, you probably came along when it was already multiple hundreds of people. We have to get out of this mindset that whatever is big is best. Go get the biggest sandwich from McDonald's menu. Bet it ain't good for me. Not saying that there's nothing wrong with big churches. Or there's something wrong with big churches. There's nothing wrong with big churches. But what I'm saying is we can't get into the mindset that just because something's bigger means it's not right. Some things are not growing. Some things are swelling. There's a difference. What's growing is healthy. What's swelling, there's infection. And so as a team, we must be striving to grow, not to swell. And so growth then comes in multiple facets. It doesn't just happen in numbers first. It happens with us individually growing in our walk with Christ. If you have fruit, then people will come to your tree. How's it? Okay, y'all look lost by that. If you hungry, and I got a tree in my yard, they got some fruit on it, you gonna find your way to my yard. And I ain't even got to tell you, I got a tree with fruit. You gonna see it. Anybody catch that? I gotta walk around talking about how wonderful you gonna see my fruit. The way the team gets stronger is when the players get better. I'm sorry to keep using these sports references, but if I get a whole bunch of players on my team, and I'm about to go play pickup ball, and ain't none of them better than me, chances are we're gonna lose. I don't care if I got 100 players. Chances are we're gonna lose. Because if that team got 5 players better than my team's best player, and I got 100 people, we can only play 5 at a time. Amen. And whoever plays our best are gonna win. That's why we ought to want to have quality more than quantity. Amen. I'm all over the place. I hope y'all follow this. I'm gonna get back to it. Right? So we win as a team, and whoever grows, whoever has progress, whoever that comes, or that makes the team better. That makes the all right. So let's go. I hope y'all got that. That was a bunch of scattered thoughts. I want to go right back to this. Finally, all of you be like-minded, united in spirit. So the point is, we must intentionally strive to achieve unity. Human beings are inherently self-motivated, and increasingly so as we draw closer to the coming of the Lord. In 2 Timothy chapter 3, it says that in the last days there will be times of difficulty, for people will be lovers of self. Right? Lovers of self means that whatever my desires are, they supersede that of my neighbors. Even though, and I used the reference last week, that if in America, if I'm a billionaire, I can live right next to somebody who has no food, and I'm not responsible to help them. That's called capitalism. I can get as much as I want, and I'm not responsible to anyone to help anyone, right? So we can't have a capitalistic mindset in the church. And in the last days, where we are, it says people will be lovers of themselves. So success in the church then is unity under the gospel mission, which we discussed, unity under the vision of that particular local church family, and unity with one another in Christian love. Unity under the gospel mission. That is what Jesus set forth to the apostles. Unity under the vision and purpose of that local church. That changes based upon community, based upon context. And then also united with one another in Christian love. The interesting part of that last piece is we only view unity in the context often of those two overarching things. We view it in the sense of unity with the gospel mission, unity under the vision and purpose of the local church, but we neglect unity with one another in Christian love. But you can't have those two overarching things without that one core thing. Right? You can't be a successful, unified church if you don't have successful, unified relationships within the church. Because ultimately, the only way the church gets stronger and gets to become a unified church is if the people in the church become unified. Is this making sense? There has to be unity among the people. There has to be unity among us. Just my next to you, we need to have unity. So unity is having one mind, one purpose, one focus. And God is always pushing us as his people to be unified. All right? So, excuse me. And unity does not happen by happenstance or accident. It has to be planned. It must be deliberate. It has to be premeditated. It has to be thought out. Why? Because if the enemy is deliberate in his attack against us, the people of God, then we must, the people of God, be deliberate with our plan of attack against the enemy. The Bible uses the word wiles, or it means schemes or methods, and it's really a military word. It is, and the Greek word is strategia, or stratagem, however you want to pronounce it, where we get the word strategy. So the enemy has a strategy against the people of God. So we must have a strategy against the enemy. You can't have unity by accident. Why? Because we are always looking out for us. That's our most characteristic of humanity is the most common thing among us is that we want to make sure we cool. We might not all come from the same background. We might not all have the same socioeconomic status, but we all want to make sure we good. I don't hear nobody talking. That's our mind. We want to make sure I'm taking care of my business. I'm taking care of my family. I'm taking care of my health, my this, my that. Everything is about us. And so God then, he expects us to do something that is outside of what comes natural to us. This is why you need the Holy Spirit. Because you cannot do what does not come natural to your flesh without the help of the Lord. Amen. Right. Your flesh is always going to say, I need to worry about me. It's interesting that God will, he will command us, expect us to be unified when it goes against everything our body, our mind says and does. That's why, again, you have to have the Holy Spirit. Without the Holy Spirit, you cannot become what God said you're supposed to be. Amen. All right? So we have to plan. We have to be strategic. We have to know that the enemy is going to do everything he can do to try to bust up, break down unity. We must do everything we can do to build up, strengthen, and stabilize unity. Right? All right, so one of the most powerful enemies of unity, let me pause it here. What do you think an enemy of unity is? Just holler back at it. Anybody? Division. Okay. Money, selfishness, division, money, and stuff. Anybody else? You said power? Yeah, right? Let me throw another one at you. Neutrality. Neutrality. I'm going to explain that in a second. One of my classes in college was geography. I really like that class. And so I learned some of geography. There's a nation in the world, Switzerland, that is neutral always. They have not taken any side in any war ever. Probably, like they say, ever. They probably have wars back in the medieval times, I would imagine. But in modern times, Switzerland don't go to war for nobody and with nobody. Right? So neutrality is one of the biggest enemies to unity. Let me show you what I mean. Neutrality is a policy or status that does not participate in war between nations, not taking a side, and not signing up for any side of any war. Neutrality is one of the biggest enemies to unity. Many church folks, many saints are decidedly neutral when it comes to the affairs of the church. Why? Many saints believe that the matters of the church and the kingdom of God don't directly affect them. So instead of picking a side, we'll say, I'm on my side. I'm not fighting with nobody. Right, but we have to understand that anything that affects the kingdom affects the local church, and anything that affects the local church affects the people within the local church. Therefore, anything that affects the kingdom affects you and I. We can't be neutral. Tell somebody, neutrality is an enemy to unity. Anytime I choose my side, the enemy is winning. If I choose not to choose, the enemy is winning. If I say I'm just going to hang in the background and let y'all duke it out, the enemy is winning. Because anytime the people of God have no passion to come together, the enemy is winning. Neutrality is an enemy to unity. Yes, lust for power is an enemy to unity. Yes, lust for authority, lust for money. Yes, those are all true. But a lust for power can work in multiple ways. A lust for money can work in multiple ways. Neutrality is the only thing that will keep the saints of God on the sidelines where they need to be on the field. Neutrality. I don't want to get my hands in that. What does that look like in the church? Let's look at ours for it. We're trying to do something major, trying to do something great. Somebody decides, I don't know if I want to be part of that. Now, I don't mind if it happens, right? I'm cool, but I don't want to get my hands in it. Neutrality is an enemy to unity. Because we can't do nothing with that. What am I supposed to do with a person who says, no, I'm cool. That's cool if y'all want to do that. And if it happens, great, but I just don't want to get involved. I don't want to get engaged in that. We can't use that. That's not help. Let me show you what Jesus said about folks like that. In the book of Revelation chapter 3. You don't got to go there. If you want to, you can. you go on there, hold it, and we're going to come back to that. Neutrality is a method the enemy uses to keep able-bodied warriors and soldiers on the sidelines instead of on the battlefield. I'd rather keep my hands out of it and let y'all fight. I'm just going to kind of hang back and chill and do what best suits me. So you can't be Switzerland in the kingdom of God. You got to pick a side. Are y'all going to wake up this morning, y'all? You have to pick a side. And the major problem is that there's a lot of saints who are neutral when it comes to the affairs of the kingdom of God. Neutral when it comes to the affairs of the local church. We're not fighting against you praying, but I'm just not going to pray. I don't hear nobody talking. I'm not fighting against you giving. I'm just not going to give. And not only, how neutrality works also is that I'm not even going to celebrate when y'all win. Because I'm indifferent. If you win, good for you, I guess. If you lose, that wasn't me. So you got a lot of saints who stand in the middle. I don't want to be responsible for losing, and I don't want to risk what I have to win. I'm going to just stay right here and be neutral. So you got this side trying to do something great, this side trying to do something great, and then some saints are stuck in the middle. I just want to be average. Because average is safe. It's time out for safe Christians. At some point, you have to put something on the line. All right? You have to be worth something. It's good that you got saved, but what you doing with it? I'm glad you saved. But if your salvation has no fruit, then what is it for? Who knows you love Jesus? Are you willing to risk your reputation? Man, y'all ain't talking. Are you willing to risk how people view you? Some of the issue with church growth is not that the word is not strong. It's not that the church isn't loving. It's that there are neutral saints filling the seats who love Jesus but also love themselves too much. I don't want to get involved in all that. I'm gonna just come to church, sit in my seat, enjoy the word, and go home. And nobody will ever know. Because I'm neutral. I don't want to get engaged in all of that. Here's the problem with that. You don't come to God neutral. Right? None of us came from a position of neutrality. We all knew and felt that there is something very necessary missing from my life. Right? So I have to push against everything that's telling me don't do it, because the enemy will speak to you when you, how many of y'all been saved less than 10 years? Okay, cool. At some point, when you were making that commitment, there was something pulling at you to say, sit your tail down and chill. Right. Yeah. There was. How do I know? Because that happened to every single one person up in here that committed themselves to the Lord. Amen. The enemy is always trying to, no, you just chill out. That's why the neutral folk, they don't get attacked like the folk is doing something. They wonder what's wrong with you. Wow. Like, why are you always going through? Because I'm striving for something. Anytime I advance on the enemy's territory, he's going to hit me. You just That's why you ain't going through nothing. Because you already on the scene. Y'all don't catch it. I didn't tackle the people wearing the same jerseys as me. Right. Y'all getting this? Neutrality in the church makes you a spy for the devil. You are, I'm trying to find the word, I can't find it. But you've infiltrated the kingdom and you make yourself look like the same. It's like they're called moles, that's what the word I'm looking for. You're a mole. You really working for the devil when you're neutral. Because anytime you're not advancing the agenda of the kingdom of God, you are advancing the agenda of the kingdom of hell. I don't care what nobody tell you. There is no such thing as neutral Christian. Either you are for the unity of the people of God, or you are against the unity of the people of God. So let me tell you what the Lord says about this. All right, I promise you, I'm wrapping this thing up tonight. Ain't gonna be no 7:35. All right. Let's go to Revelation 3 and 15 or 14. I can't be laughing. I'm serious. We about to shut this thing down. It's hot in here and everything. Revelation chapter 3. Revelation, no S in here. Revelation chapter 3. All right, so this is a message. There are 7 churches that Jesus addresses, and this is a message to the Laodicean church. Okay, and this is, and I'm going to read something that you probably heard before, but I want you to understand it in a deep way tonight, and then we're going to wrap this up. All right. Revelation chapter 3, and I'm going to start at 14. When you have that, please say amen. All right. All right. I'm going to go ahead and go to my King James. All right. Revelation 3:14. This is what it says. And unto the angel of the church of the Laodiceans, write these things, saith the Amen, the faithful and true witness, the beginning of the creation of God. Verse 15. I know thy works. Now this is very important. God is saying to this church, now he's about to tell them something about themselves. But look what he says. I know thy works, that thou art neither hot or cold, nor hot. I would that thou wert cold or hot, so that because thou art lukewarm and neither cold nor hot, I will spew thee out of my mouth. We'll stop there. Now, back in the day, people used to say, well, Jesus is talking about, well, you need to be either hot for the Lord or cold for the devil. That's not what that means at all. Everybody say context. Okay, you gotta read the Bible contextually. Laodicea is a city. Okay, I'm gonna read what this means, and then we're gonna leave. I promise. So the reference to lukewarmness is very interesting. To the north of Laodicea, there's a city called Hierapolis, and it had hot springs, and very healthy hot springs. And then to the south of Laodicea was Colossae, and they had very cold springs. They were clean, and the water from Colossae was really refreshing to drink. But Laodicea had problems with its water supply, which was bought by aqueduct 6 miles from the south. So by the time the water reached Laodicea, it had become lukewarm. If you know anything about temperatures in water, bacteria can fester in certain temperatures, and if you drink it, it will make you sick. So what Jesus is really saying, either you are hot enough that I can do something with it, cold enough that I can do something with it, or because if you lukewarm, you good for nothing. I can't do anything with neutrality. The hot springs, I can at least wash some with, the cold springs I can quench my thirst with, but because you are full of bacteria in the middle, I ain't going to do nothing but vomit you out. You're good for nothing. Don't be a good for nothing Christian. Saved for nothing. In church for nothing. Y'all ain't talking to me. Give for nothing. Show up for nothing. You do all this stuff, but it ain't nothing to you. That's what they brought the water up through pipes for 6 miles only for to get to Laodicea, and they had no use for it. Now, why would you let Jesus bring you from all this way off and to get you to this point and he can't even use you? Now come on here. What will be the point for you to go that far from where you came from to end up here and be good for nothing? What's the point? Your Christianity should mean more to you than to be neutral. The purposes for which you are on this earth should mean more to you than for you to be neutral. I find it interesting that we have, in this day and time, we have glorified being selfish. I can't get on social media without somebody talking about, do me, my haters this. I hate you. I care that much about you. How you got so many haters? But that makes that selfishness makes you believe everybody's out to get you. But the reality is, if you are not living the purpose for which you were born, you are neutral and good for nothing. And you can't be in the kingdom of God and a sincere soldier on the battlefield for the Lord and be neutral. Because at some point God will say, I can't use you, go somewhere. I'm going to spit you out. So you have to have a passionate desire to be who God said you are. And part of that is understanding I can't be who I'm supposed to be without you. When you was born, the world didn't begin. Okay? I know you think that. I know we think that the day that I was born, that's the day all time came into being, and that's the day the mountains existed, and that's the day the sun was up. No. You were born with other people so that you could do something meaningful in the earth. You didn't get born to be neutral. That's all. And that's why we got to fight and strive to be unified. Because everything around us is going to tell you you don't need nobody else. You just need you. Me, myself, and I. That's all I need. It's not true. And it's foolish to believe that. Because you can't be who you are supposed to be thinking that you don't need nobody. You can't. I don't need no pastor. I know God for myself. I don't need no church. Then why did Jesus create it? Why did he die for it? We say things that are just asinine. But why is the church here if you don't need? I'm spiritual. So are demons. So are witches and warlocks. Let me me show you how goofy people are. Let me just show you. Let me just share with you. They say I'm spiritual, like that's a badge of honor. Right? But you don't even understand the Spirit's working in you. And you don't need nobody. Now come on. But we believe this stuff because we want to be about us. I want to do what I want to do because I want to do it when I want to do it. And I want nobody to tell me nothing. That's why some of your parents don't like you. All right, that's enough story for another day. They're trying to tell you, anyway, I'm going to leave it alone. You don't live this life by yourself, and you ain't going to get through this life by yourself. You ain't get here by yourself, and you ain't going to, you're not going to accomplish anything by yourself. All right, I got to stop. Like this. For those who's laughing, 7:15. 7:16, thank you, Carly. Some people, I love them, but I don't like them. I'm playing. All right, take that stuff from God's house. And guess what? We're not going to accomplish what we need to accomplish without you. So be a blessing. Be as liberal as you can. If you have pledged money, we want to do that separately. So if you're going to give your regular offerings or your tithe tonight, please do that. If you are giving pledge money, please do that separately. And we'll do this every single service we have because we want to make sure we have a clear record of what is and what